Hello and welcome to Pilates for COVID Recovery. My name is Nicole. I am going to be leading you through a 30-minute or so workout based on Pilates, but focusing a lot on breath and just moving at your own pace, getting the blood flowing. So what you'll need is either a towel or a small pillow in case you want to put under your head, just to have it around, I like. But what we'll really be using today is I have a pillowcase, but you could also use a tea towel, something about this size. You want to be able to hold it with your hands slightly wider than shoulder distance apart. But other than that, we're going to get started laying down on your back, and then I will get us moving and give you a little bit more info in case you're new. So Z will have to move, thank you. And you can start on your back. If it feels nice to have something under your head to help keep your neck long, there you go. You can do that because sometimes if we're tight in the shoulders, we lay like this and it's a little uncomfortable, right? But if you're comfortable like this, you don't need to have this padding under you. So take a moment to settle in. You've got your little tea towel or pillowcase nearby and just start to breathe. I recommend inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth, but whatever works. But the most important thing as we move is that you keep the breath flowing, that you notice when your breath stops and holds, and try to move through that kind of tough, sticky spot with breath. You can place your hands on your ribs and try to inhale into the sides of your hands here. So if the heels of your hands are at the very sides of your body or the seam of your shirt, that's where you want to feel like you're inhaling into. And then exhale out through the mouth. And you can stay just like this, inhaling, feeling the heels of your hands separate a little bit as your ribs expand, and then exhale, feel the hands come closer together. But if you want to give your ribs and those muscles in between your ribs, the intercostals, a little bit of work, a little resistance, you can gently press into your ribs and then inhale. Try to use your ribs to press the hands apart. And then exhale. You can again hug your ribs with the heels of your hands, encouraging them to move back in. That's going to help your abdominals engage. So inhale, press into your hands. Give it some resistance. Feel that expansion of your rib cage, and exhale. Inhale, press. And exhale. Keep working, keep doing this, taking your time, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about what we're going to be doing. So as we move, as we breathe, as we start to exercise and curl up and move the body around, please take your time to breathe and move at your own pace. If I'm going too fast, you can always go half speed or take a break, look at the screen, and then hop back in when you're ready. I know especially you don't want to get your heart rate going too high, depending on where you are in your recovery. So always do at your own time. I'm going to try to offer a few different variations of things depending on how you're feeling today, where your energy level is. So last breath, take that last chance to press into your ribs, into your hands and your ribs, and exhale. Really good. So now you're going to take this towel or pillowcase into your hands. Get a nice grip all across the width of your hands and reach the arms right up over your shoulders. So from here, you're going to gently pull this towel or pillowcase apart. It's not going to go anywhere because it's not made of plastic or rubber. And then exhale, you can stop pulling. Inhale, pull, and try to feel your collarbone, your chest, your upper back expand just the way your rib cage was expanding. Exhale, you close the ribs and stop pulling on your pillowcase. Inhale. And exhale. Relax. Inhale, pull. And then exhale, release. Now we're gonna pull in both times. So you're gonna inhale, pull, and exhale, pull. So inhale, you pull the pillowcase apart. Exhale, keep pulling, and pull your abdominals in as well. Inhale, feel the rib cage, the armpits, the shoulders expand, and then exhale, pull your abdominals in, feel the waist narrow, feel that scooping of the abs. One more with the arms just straight up overhead. Inhale, and exhale. So now we're gonna add a little bit of movement. Inhale, reach the arms back to a diagonal, not all the way to the floor. And then exhale, press your arms forward, maybe touching your thighs. Inhale, feel that chest expand, keep the back on the floor, and exhale, pull your abdominals in and up like you're cinching your waist. Inhale. And exhale. Once more. Inhale. And exhale. Relax, take your arms down. You might feel a little lightheaded if those breaths were a little bigger and faster than you're used to. So just catch your breath, breathe in a more relaxed way, and then take your right knee into your chest and take this towel and place it around the arch of your foot. Stretch your leg up to straight or as close to straight as you can get. So if it's feeling tight, you might be here. If you're kind of naturally flexible or already stretched, you might be at a straight leg. A deeper stretch, you could stretch your left leg down onto the floor. That would be the biggest option. So from here, kind of wiggle that towel up a little closer to the ball of your foot, to the base of your toes. Give yourself a little extra pull and just feel the length along the back of your calf, hamstring. It might even go up into your lower back a little bit. And breathe. This is just a relaxing breath. Letting your heel reach to the sky and the sit bone, that bone right over here, melt into the floor. Start to point and flex your foot when you're ready to get moving. Press into the towel, and you can give the towel a little pull when you flex. So you're starting to work that ankle joint gently, but it might deepen your stretch. You might start to feel muscles in your calves and your leg working. Give yourself 2 more rounds of this, unless you're moving quite slow. And then let's keep it flexed. Keep the flat part of your foot, the sole of your foot, reaching for the ceiling as you bend your knee towards your armpit. So your knee will go down only as far as you can keep the sole of your foot parallel to the ceiling. And then straighten the leg up. Bend the knee, pull it in, and straighten it up. Bend the knee, pull it in, and straighten it up. So now you have options. You can keep your hands here, and you can start to draw a little tiny circle with your leg right here. But if you want to do something a little bit more active, a little bit more difficult, you're going to hold this towel in your hands up in the air off of your foot. You point that foot and start to draw circles, perhaps a little bigger, on the ceiling. Now, the challenging thing about this circle is that you want to move your leg and nothing else. Not your hips, not your waist, not your towel up in the air. Keep everything still. So it's a lot more difficult than it maybe looks. And then reverse the direction of that circle. Go in the opposite direction. We're going to do 4 more. Always you can hop in or hop out. And 1 more. And then bend the knee in. Give it a little stretch. I like to use this towel to also pull the knee in. And then switch. You're going to hook your left foot in or your other foot. If you already did the left foot, scooch that towel up closer to the ball of your foot. Remember, this is always an option to keep your knee bent if you're feeling quite tight. And just take a moment to stretch here. Notice if this leg feels a little tighter, a little looser. This is my tighter side, so I'm going to take it a little more slow, getting into the full stretch here. And then letting the heel reach to the ceiling, flexing your ankle more, letting that sit bone heavy into the floor. Start to point and flex your foot. Ooh. So if you're a tight person, this might be a challenge, just this position, this work. If you're feeling like this is quite easy, gently press your foot forward this direction towards the foot of your mat so that you start to activate that muscle that might be naturally quite mobile. Getting that extra activation will be a little bit more useful for you, for the hypermobile or flexible folks. All right, point your foot, decide. Oh wait, let's do our stretch first here. Pull that knee into your armpit and then stretch it up. This is the one where you keep the sole of the foot parallel to the ceiling, pulling the knee down. If you do yoga, it's kind of like a half baby yoga pose, happy baby pose. Hold it up. Okay, now it's time for those circles. If you're doing it with holding your towel, you're drawing pretty small circles right above your hip socket. If you're taking your towel off your foot, holding it up, your circles might be a little bigger. But remember, you're trying to keep your hips, your body, your arms still. Breathing. One more. For the reverse. Now, if you like to get a little guidance on your breath, you can inhale as you lower the leg and exhale on the up. Inhale as you lower, exhale on the up. So that exhale is when you get to deepen those abdominals even more. One more in this last direction here. And then pull it in, give yourself a little hug. Okay, so now with your feet flat on the floor, again, knees bent, let's take this towel and place it behind your head. So on your skull, not your neck, otherwise it's gonna be uncomfortable, but right where your head rests on the mat is where your towel is gonna be, or your pillowcase. Bring your elbows up to the sky. And I want you to think, because your hands might be feeling a little tired already, really think of lifting from your arms up here, because you're going to reach your upper arms forward and curl your head, neck, and shoulders up and lower down. Take it easy. Your back might be feeling a little tight or just heavy on the mat. It wants to stay down there. We're encouraging it to curl and fold. Meanwhile, your abs are going. They're curling you up. So your arms don't have to work too hard. Try 3 more here. And lower down. Let go of that towel. If you need to shake out your hands, you can. But you're going to bring your hands behind your head now, and we're going to try the same thing without the towel, but just holding your head in your hands. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, lower. Can you curl up as high as you did when you had that towel to pull on? If I'm going too fast, please take your time. And one more for the road here, curling up and down. And rest. So bring your arms down by your side. That was some spinal flexion or bending to get those abs engaged. Now we're going to use the abs to keep our spines really still again. So press your arms gently into the floor. Feel your triceps, maybe the back of those arms activate, and also press your abs into the mat. So it doesn't necessarily mean push your back into the mat, but press your abs towards the mat. That's where you want to really focus on. So keeping your hips and your spine as still as possible. Lift one leg up to tabletop. That's when your shin is parallel to the floor like a table, and you lower it down. And then lift the other leg up and lower. Now this may seem pretty darn simple, and it is, but if you try to keep your hips totally still right here when you switch directions or switch legs, can be quite a challenge. So feel those abdominals pulling in, holding your hips totally still. Now, can you do this and breathe at the same time? That's the other challenge, because your core has to stay engaged the whole time. I'm pulling in my abs, but at the same time, I'm breathing into my ribs here. So remember where you placed your hands before. Breathe into those ribs, keep your belly engaged. If you've ever taken singing lessons, it's very different than that, right? Singing lessons, you're letting your belly move with your breath. This is more like the ballerinas. You got to keep your belly tight, supporting your spine. Let your ribs expand the most with breath. One more time, each side. Pressing those arms, finding that core connection and holding it, keeping it going, not letting it go. And then, rest. And you can relax and wiggle your hips around, rock your knees if you need to. And take a break. If that felt strange and hard to hold on to that connection, that's totally fine and normal. It's a challenge to learn how to maintain that core connection. Let's take a little stretch through the quads and the hips. So pressing your arms into the floor. This time you are going to press your lower back into the mat, tucking your tailbone up. Start to lift your hips off of the floor, rolling your spine off the mat. And then roll your spine back down, upper back, middle back, lower back, and finally your tailbone. Tuck, lift your tailbone first, lower back, middle back, upper back, and roll it on down. 3 more, unless you're going a little slower. When you get to the top, enjoy that sense of length along the front of your body and roll down. I have 2 more. Keep the neck long. By the way, if you still have that pillow under your head, you should probably take it out from under your head when you're doing your bridges. Let's do 1 more for good luck, because we're going to stay there now. So lift up as high as you can today, right now. So belly is in, ribs are in, not arching the ribs up to the sky, but really leading with your tush and your hamstrings. You're probably feeling it now in the back of those legs. Remember, you can always lower your bridge if it's going into your back. Find the bridge, lift the arms up and back, and then press them down. Lift the arms up and back and press down, exhaling. Think of this as a breathing exercise. You're filling your lungs up and then exhaling, pressing them all out, all that air. Last one, inhale and exhale. And then roll your spine down and hug your knees into your chest. So from here, we're going to do the 100. So if you've taken Pilates before, you know it's usually a pumping movement like this with the arms, but we're going to do it slow motion. So options, lots of options here. You could stay down and just work the arms. We're going to inhale on a count of 5, lifting the arms, exhale on a count of 5, lowering. But if you want a challenge, you could curl up, inhale up, and exhale down. Biggest challenge would be legs at tabletop. Biggest challenge yet would be those legs straight out at a high diagonal. I'm going to go for somewhere in the middle right here. So start to reach your fingertips long wherever your head is, if you're down here or up. And then inhale, 2, 3, lift the arms up and lower, 3, 4, 5. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're halfway done. 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 4 more breaths. Whatever option you've chosen, try to stick with it. But you can always put your head down. You can always lower your feet. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 2 more breaths. 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And final breath. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug the knees in. We might have done an extra breath. It's true. Rock your head left to right. Great. So roll over to one side. Push yourself up to seated. Grab that towel that was left under your head. And taking a moment, I might feel a little dizzy to get back up. You're going to sit with your feet flat on the floor, a long bend in the knees. That means your feet aren't really too close. They're nice and long, far away from you. So for half roll down, it is exactly what it sounds like. You roll down halfway. Let's take that towel or pillowcase under your legs and pull it up under your knees or your thighs, kind of whatever feels best for your arms. I like palms up, elbows bent close to my side personally, but you might prefer something like this. Whatever you do, keep the shoulders away from your ears. So you start with a long spine, and then on an exhale, you pull your abdominals in first, abs first, then the bones move. You rock back on your butt, and you roll back. Your elbows will kind of straighten, and then you're gonna round forward, round, 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 and come on up to tall again. Abs pull in first, you round your spine. Perhaps you'll be rounder than me. I'm not the roundest. And then round forward. I'm less interested in how far back you go as to how much you can really initiate from your abdominals to round that spine. And then round forward. I apologize for the people tearing up my street out front there. Round your spine. Not sure if you can hear it even. And round forward. Stack it up at the top. Now, if this is feeling easy, you want a challenge, you're going to take that towel and reach it out in front of you. So now you don't have the help of holding on to your legs. You got to do it all with your core and your back muscles. Lift up tall. Round. And forward. You might be going slower than this. You might be going a little further or less far, right? Find out what's most useful to you to help your back get a nice sense of rounding here on the way up. One more. This is your last one, wherever you're at. Maybe go a little farther this last time. And then you come up, up, up. Lower those arms. Really good. So you're seated already. So let's start. You can turn to face me if you like. You're going to sit crisscross applesauce. If this is not a great position for you, you can come to your knees like this. So whatever's comfortable, you're going to open those arms out to the side. We did a lot of rounding. We're going to do a little side bending. So you're going to take one hand down to the mat next to you and reach this arm. Think about reaching for where the wall and the ceiling meet over there, assuming you're indoors somewhere, right? Reach, reach, reach for there instead of just coming down. This arm is kind of strong. I'm working it. It's holding my weight up. I'm going to push into it so I can come over to the other side. I'm reaching for where the wall meets the ceiling, so I'm actively getting longer. I might bend my elbow to feel more stretch. And then come up. And we'll do that one more time. Really stretch through that long side and hold yourself up with this arm and shortened side body. And up. Bend that elbow, stretch up high, reach, reach, reach. And then come on up. So let's lay down on your stomach. We're gonna do a little bit of back bending. So for here, you can let your feet be as wide as the mat. Get kind of comfy, elbows out to the side really wide, one hand on top of the other, forehead flat on, or I guess your forehead's flat, but it's on your hands is what I'm trying to say. So find a little scoop in your belly. I'm gonna look towards you, but I really encourage you to just use your ears and listen so that you don't have to turn your neck. So you're laying on your belly, pull your belly away from the mat. Even if it doesn't actually lift, try to get it away from the mat some amount, right? Even if it's still touching. And then send your glutes towards your feet. So that's like they're squeezing down towards your feet, and then your feet are gonna reach back, back, back towards that wall behind you. So your bottom of your body is quite active now, right? Abs, glutes, legs, even the quads I feel are working a bit. From here, add a sensation of pulling your forearms down the mat. What that should do is engage the muscles behind and below your armpits, your lats basically, and other back muscles. Once you got all that going for you, it's all working, it's hard, you're breathing still, lift your head and chest up. Slowly lower the head and chest down. Lift and lower, while you maintain all of that other muscular contraction, which is a challenge. So abs, glutes, feet reaching, forearms pulling. That becomes your base of support, so that lifting the head and chest all of a sudden doesn't really feel that hard because so much of your body is already working to help you here. If you want a challenge, you will keep one hand glued to your forehead. So one arm will lift, the other arm will stay down. I'm gonna do 3 more of these, so 4 with this hand and 4 on the other. It's up to you if you wanna do that many. It's like a medium amount. Switch your hands, other arm is gonna lift. Are your abs still engaged? Are your glutes still going? Are your toes still reaching? 2 more. Last one. And then lower down. Holy smokes. That's not nothing. That was not nothing. So relax. I'm waving my hips around like this so I can release any tension in my glutes and my lower back. And we're going to do one more thing for your hamstrings and glutes before we sit into a child's pose. So from here, your head gets to rest, forehead down. If you want to take a look though first, you're going to bend those knees. The knees are wider than the hips a little bit, and the heels come together, the toes stay apart. So my feet are making a little V shape. I'm going to send my butt towards the back of my knees again. I'm going to try to pull my lower abs a little bit off the mat, and then lift the knees up and lower. This may feel really hard. Like, first of all, they don't lift that much, period. Nobody really, because we want to stay out of your lower back. If I lifted from my back, I could get higher, but I don't want to do that. I want to lift from my butt and hamstrings. So I just squeeze and lift from these muscles. I keep my abs engaged. I keep my butt reaching this way, right? Try it out. See if you can get that little lift. A common mistake is like this, like lifting the butt up. Try not to do that. Try to lift just the knees up. Ooh, that is a challenge. One more. And then lower down, lengthen those legs, and help yourself into a child's pose. So take your hands under your chest, give yourself a little push. Let the knees open as wide as the mat maybe, or even wider if you want, feet closer together, and you sit back, walk your hands forward, and let your head rest on the mat. If the mat feels really far away from your head, give yourself 2 fists to rest on, or 1, or even just your hands, right? Help give yourself a little boost so that you can really let your head go. So now think about breathing into your back, right? You're laying down, your back is lengthening, your belly is kind of smushed into your legs over here. So you have less room to move your belly and front ribs, but you have more room to move your back. You can close your eyes if you need to, but really imagine the breath moving into your back. Two more breaths here. One more breath. And then you can either stay here or walk your hands back in towards your knees to roll yourself up. Because you are done, that's your 30 minutes. Thank you for tuning in. And let me know always if you have any requests or desires. There's information on how to contact me in the info on the video. And yeah, thank you. Bye.